Welcome to Infidelity, Mum, where pain births power and broken pieces are rebuilt into purpose. Subscribe, stay close, and step into your next chapter. My name is JC, and I'm 5 years old. I live in a big blue house with my dad in a small town called Maple Hill, somewhere in America. My mom? I don't really know her. Dad says she had to go far away when I was a baby. He doesn't talk about her much. It's always been just me and him, and I liked it that way. Every morning, Dad makes me chocolate pancakes. Then he drives me to kindergarten in his squeaky red truck that smells like vanilla and paint. He's a house fixer. He calls himself Mr. Fix-It. I always thought he could fix anything, even hearts. One rainy afternoon, we were playing hide and seek in the living room. I found a photo hidden behind the couch. It was of Dad, and a lady who looked just like me but older. Her eyes were shiny green, like mine. She was holding a baby. The baby was me. But why did Dad hide it? I asked. Daddy, who is this lady? His smile faded. He sat down slowly. That's your mom. I blinked. But I thought she went away? She did, he said, but not because she wanted to. That night, I couldn't sleep. I heard Dad talking on the phone in the kitchen. His voice was low, but I crept close and listened. She's asking questions, Maria. I think she's starting to remember things. Who was Maria? Why did she sound like trouble? The next day, something strange happened. A woman came to our door. She wore a long red coat and had the same shiny green eyes. Mine. Dad told me to hide behind the curtain. I did, but I peeked. The woman whispered, "She deserves to know." Dad whispered back, "You promised you'd stay away." I held my breath. My heart thumped. My world spun. Something big was hiding under the floor of our quiet house, and I was going to find it. The red coat lady was gone, but my heart was still racing. I ran to Dad. "Who was that?" I asked, even though I already knew. He knelt down and hugged me tight. Too tight. "Just someone from the past," he said, "but she looked like me." Dad didn't answer. He looked like he was thinking hard, like his brain was running in circles. That night, I couldn't sleep again. My blanket felt heavy, like it knew something too. I tiptoed downstairs to find the red photo again, but it wasn't behind the couch anymore. I checked the drawer. Gone. I even checked under the rug. Then I saw the attic door open. Just a crack. The attic was dark and dusty, full of old boxes and secrets. I climbed up quietly. My bare feet made soft tap sounds on the wooden stairs. My fingers were shaking, but I didn't stop. In the far corner, I found a box labeled JC's first year. Inside were baby shoes, tiny clothes, and a bunch of papers. I opened one. It was a letter. "Dear David," it said, "I know I made a mistake, but I didn't leave because I wanted to. You told them I cheated, but you never told them about your own lies." My eyes didn't understand everything, but my heart felt the words. Heavy. Cold. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Dad was coming. I froze. He opened the attic door and saw me holding the letter. He didn't yell. He just sighed and sat down on the dusty floor beside me. "I didn't want you to find out like this," he whispered. I looked at him. "Did you lie, Daddy?" He nodded a little. "We both made mistakes. Grown-ups do that, but I was scared. I didn't want to lose you." My throat felt tight. Is she really my mom?" "She is," he said. "And there's more you need to know." But just then, knock, knock, knock. A loud knock on the door below, then a voice. "David, it's time. You can't keep hiding this anymore." Dad's face turned pale. I looked at him. "What's happening?" And that's when the biggest secret started to break loose. The knocking didn't stop. Knock, knock, knock. Then came the voice again. A woman's voice, strong and serious. "Open the door, David, or I will." Dad stood up fast. His hands were shaking. "Stay here, JC," he said. almost like a whisper. But I followed, quietly. My tiny feet didn't make sounds on the steps. I peeked through the railings as Dad opened the door. The red coat lady was back, but this time she wasn't alone. Behind her stood a tall man in a dark uniform, a police officer. "Sir," the officer said, "we need to talk to you about a case that was never closed." Dad looked like a statue. "This is a mistake," he said, trying to smile. "She left us. She left me." "No," the red coat lady said, her voice shaking. "You took her away from me." My breath caught. "Her? Me?" "You lied in court," the woman said, pointing at Dad. "You told them I was unfit. You told them I cheated. But you knew that wasn't true. You just didn't want me to take her." Dad didn't say anything. Then she looked up toward the stairs. She saw me. Her eyes, my eyes, filled with tears. "JC," she said softly, like it was her favorite word in the whole world. I felt something weird inside, like my heart knew her before my brain did. But my feet stayed still. The officer looked at Dad. "We have to reopen the custody case. There are new pieces of evidence." Dad stepped forward. "She's my whole life. You can't just take her." The red coat lady stepped forward too. "She's our life." My head felt dizzy. Who was the good guy? Who was telling the truth? What if both of them were lying? I ran back upstairs. My heart was too full. I didn't know who to believe. I didn't know who to love. And then I saw something in the attic I hadn't noticed before. A second box. Smaller, with a lock on it, and a tag that said, Maria. The box was dusty and gray, like it had been hiding for a long, long time. The name on the tag, Maria, was written in Dad's handwriting. I knew his loops and slants from the notes he left in my lunchbox. I touched the lock. It was cold. No key. But I remembered something. Dad kept all his old keys in a jar on the kitchen shelf behind the oatmeal. I tiptoed downstairs again, past the front hallway where the red coat lady and the police officer were still talking to Dad in low voices. I grabbed the key jar and ran back up. Clink, clink, click, one key, two keys. Nothing. Then the third one slid in smooth and click. It opened. Inside were letters. Lots and lots of letters. Some were torn, some were smudged with tears. But they all started the same. "Dear Maria, Maria, please don't tell anyone. Maria, I know what we did was wrong." I sat down, eyes wide, lips pressed tight. I was only 5, but even I could feel the weight of something really big. Then I found one letter that made my fingers freeze. "Maria, you promised not to tell about JC. If she finds out I'm not her real dad, everything falls apart." "What?" My stomach turned into knots. I wasn't his. Not his. I dropped the letter like it burned me. Tears blurred my eyes. My world was spinning, spinning, like my toy top when it goes too fast and crashes. Downstairs, the front door slammed shut. Footsteps rushed up the stairs. Fast. Heavy. Dad burst into the attic, face red, chest puffing. "What did you read?" he asked, voice shaking. I stood up, holding the letter with shaking hands. Are you not my real daddy?" His mouth opened, but no words came out. Then the red coat lady appeared behind him. "She deserves the truth, David. No more hiding." I looked at both of them. My voice cracked like glass. "Who am I?" The attic went silent. Outside, thunder rumbled. And inside me, something cracked wide open. The room felt like a dream. One where everything looks real, but nothing makes sense. Dad, no, David, stepped back like my words had pushed him. He sat on an old trunk, covered his face with both hands, and whispered, "I didn't mean to lie. Not forever." The red coat lady came closer. Her eyes weren't just shiny. They were leaking. "JC," she said softly, "I'm your mom." And he raised you, yes. But there's more to the story. I looked between them. One person held all my memories. The other held the truth. David lifted his head. I loved you since the first time I held you, even though I knew I wasn't your real dad. He looked at Mom. She told me about you when she found out. We were both young. She was married to someone else. Me and Maria, well, it wasn't supposed to happen. Mom turned to me, her voice full of hurt and hope. When I told him I was pregnant, he said he'd take care of everything. He promised not to ruin my life. David added, and I promised never to tell you. I thought if I loved you enough, the truth wouldn't matter. But it does matter, I said. They both nodded. Mom reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a necklace, a tiny silver heart. Inside was a photo. Me, as a baby, and her. I carried this every day. I thought about you every night. I stared at it, then at her, then at David. I didn't know how to feel. I was 5, but in that moment, I felt 500. I want both of you, I whispered. Their faces lit with hope and pain all at once. I want to know my real story, all of it. No more secrets. They looked at each other, then at me, and for the first time, they both nodded. Outside, the storm had passed. Inside, a new beginning had just begun.